Hey guys, so welcome back to Indirect Knowledge. So tonight we have a tarot reading for Dylan, and this is probably one of the more interesting tarot readings that I've done for someone, or that I will do for someone. I haven't done it yet. And it's actually really interesting because Dylan's been having this reoccurring dream or a similar dream that's been happening, and basically the dream is that he's been dreaming about this girl. She's a little bit short in nature and stature, and in the dream he ends up kissing her. And this, every time he has this dream, it's pretty much the same kind of situation. Now, inside the dream, he remembers what her name is, but outside of the dream, like once he wakes up, he has no idea who she is. So there's that sense of familiarity that's within the dream, but then once he wakes up and all that kind of goes away. Dreams, throughout history, throughout time, they've been very prophetic, many of them. Nothing else, they are very telling. Now, there's a lot of theories when it comes to dreams. Some people believe that dreams are just fragments of our day-to-day lives that get jumbled together, mixed up. And when we're having dreams, it's really just a bunch of this stuff. It's our mind's way of processing things, giving us a little slowdown for our brain and that kind of thing. So everybody has their different opinions about things when it comes to dreams. We all do. And those opinions are, we can change our mind anytime we choose to, I suppose. So what I would like to do with this reading is I'd like to get some clarity for Dylan, to try to be able to help him in the best way possible. When we look at history and we look at narratives from, say, like religious stories, everything from the Bible to the Vedas and everywhere in between, we have situations that involve dreams or telling of stories or utilizing our imagination or being able to, experience something, as an observer. And here's a really cool thing about stories and dreams. It's this idea of narrative transportation theory. So if you've never heard of it, it's okay. I'll kind of explain it here just sort of in gist. The narrative transportation theory is sort of this idea that when we're watching, say like we're watching a movie or something on Netflix or Hulu or Amazon Prime or YouTube, whatever medium someone chooses to watch, or reading a book. It could be, let's see if I had a book around, but I don't. It could be anything. But as we're reading it or watching it, we become so immersed in the story that we sort of take on we sort of become involved in the story enough to the point where we kind of jump out of reality. And in many ways, it's a lot like a dream. It's where we're so focused and that we're basically like, and this is also debatable, but it's like we're almost jumping out of reality. And the reason I say it's debatable is because some people, might also believe that the reality that we currently live in is nothing more than a figment of our imagination or a dream, as well. It's really all subject to individual belief, and the structures of belief run pretty deep, and that's a lot of territory that, well, we're just not going to cover in this particular reading. So The interesting thing, the thing that I find really interesting is that, you know, stories and dreams can be very, very interesting. They're the things that stay remembered. And here's the irony of all of this. Well, let's just take Dylan's case here, for example. Dylan, you have this dream, and as interesting and as exciting and as thrilling as this dream can be, when you wake up from the dream, you have no recollection of it. However, when it comes to the logic and reasoning of the world versus stories, people tend to remember stories more often than they remember facts and figures. So anyways, it's a little something to ponder there. So sort of the way this works. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at this in terms of past, present, and future. And the reason I'm going to do it like that is because we can look at like kind of where your situation has been, because we want to kind of get some insights into maybe like, what's going on with the dream itself. And then the current situation, which is of course this dream situation, having this reoccurring dream about this girl who's kind of short in stature, not knowing who she is once you awaken, but in the dream, it's like her. She's as real as can be. Her name. I mean, you have all this information about her, but upon waking, it's like all of that just kind of goes out the window. So we'll try to get you some clarity in that direction here in a bit, and then we'll look at the future a little bit to see like if we can kind of draw some conclusions as far as what's coming down the line for you relative to this dream and this experience. And sometimes it can be prophetic information that I pick up. Sometimes it can just be some very factual information and things that I pick up. It really just all depends on, I don't know how to put it, but kind of where the heaviness of the energy that I pick up from the cards and just from this connection that I get. Now, once we do the past, present, and future, we'll get the answer. So we'll get some kind of a resolution in a sense. And by this, I'm just saying that the card itself will sort of be the resolution card. Doesn't mean it's going to give us, a straight answer. It could, but it doesn't always happen that way with the tarot. And then also we have the energy that's surrounding this current situation as far as just like, what's kind of going on psychically and things. And I can kind of, maybe try to help you out with that as well. And then the next card that we'll pull, which will be the sixth card that we'll look at, will be the you. It'll be really focused on you and kind of where your hopes, your desires, kind of your mindset, those kind of things are really at. And then the last card will be the outcome card, which will give us some kind of an outcome as far as what will happen in the future with regard with the answer card. So the answer card is going to help us with this outcome. In order to get the outcome, it'll kind of give us fill in the blanks as far as what needs to happen in order to, get the resolution of that. So anyways, I think it's going to be really exciting. I'm really happy to do this for you. And I appreciate you also sharing this story with me. So yeah, so let's kind of move forward here. I've got the cards here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to shuffle these cards. And as I'm shuffling them, I'm just really thinking about the whole situation with you, Dylan. I'm thinking about the dream. I've already picked up a couple of little things already intuitively, and I did that just without having to actually do the cards. I'm picking up some information, but what the cards do is it sort of helps me to, the cards kind of like, almost like they tune me into kind of this trance-like state that I get into, and that's when things just start to kind of happen for me. When it comes to the past, present, and future, oftentimes I'm sort of calibrated about 3 months out into the future. From that energy, from the energy that I get that I derive from that futuristic card, I can, and from the cards that are displayed, I can start to kind of get some kind of things will start to happen or come to me. I can feel the heaviness of the energy, and that heaviness or the lightness of it is a way for me to kind of generally indicate more of a timeline in terms of, getting the resolution for you in that. Just kind of shuffling these cards. The nice thing about these cards is that they shuffle really well. I can almost shuffle them in my hands. I can almost shuffle these cards in my hands. But I also like doing some nice shuffles here. So, I mean, this is, some people have asked me, like, when do you know to quit shuffling? Or like, what is sort of do you just do it a certain number of times and then you should call it quits? Or do you just try to shuffle until the spots come off the cards? And here's really the answer. I do it until I feel intuitively it's the right time to stop shuffling the cards. So sometimes it's a little bit longer, sometimes it's a little shorter. And then that same thing is with the cut. I do a cut also, kind of in your honor, as if you were here cutting the cards. I do that with my left hand. I'm doing that about now. And the cards just come up. The right cards just come up. Okay, we had a jump card. The jump card is a card that comes out of the deck while I'm shuffling or while I'm cutting the cards. That just comes up automatically, naturally. The card that came up with this card. Now, the Roman numeral here is 8. It may be flipped around because of the way that the camera interacts with the numbers. But it's the number 8. You see a woman here, and you see this line, and this is the infinity sign. And this is about having infinite strength. Okay, so the card here is strength. And notice that this lady here, angel perhaps, she's just pacifying this, what would normally be a wild beast, what people might consider a wild beast or a wild animal, something that most people wouldn't dare try to pacify. She's able to do it with the greatest of ease. I mean, just so easily and naturally. It's as if, she has no problem doing it. There's no fear. There's nothing going on with her. And this card is the card that normally comes. This is a major arcana card too. The card that normally comes before this card is the Chariot. Okay, and the Chariot is about having physical outward strength, whereas this particular card right here, Dylan, is about inner strength. And I think what it's kind of telling me, to kind of, as far as a message to give to you, is it's telling me that in your dream you need to have some inner strength if you're able to do that. So maybe, before you go to bed at night, kind of meditate on this concept of just strength. And we'll read a little bit more into this in a minute. But this is the jump card. Just going to put that off to the side for a moment. Now we're going to look at the past, the present, and the future. So the first card is the past. The past is giving us the 5 of Swords tonight for you. And the 5 of Swords is it's the winning at all cost card. So the focus is pretty much solely on winning your goals at any cost. You will eventually discover, maybe to your own dismay, that sometimes the price of winning isn't worth the reward that you receive from winning. But nonetheless, it is a conquest. So in the past, 5's about change. And this card, like the 5 of Swords, you see the 5 there. That's how we know it's the 5 of Swords. The 5 is about change. mental change, like mindset change. It's about changing of our thinking, our thoughts, our ideas, our beliefs, the way we understand and identify things. And that's the past. Let's look at the future, or the present moment. In the present moment, we have the Ten of Cups. Okay, well, this is fitting because we're talking about relationship here. We're talking about relationship with this girl that's in our dream. This is a jubilation card. It's about satisfaction and joy. This card here is also about personal attainment and fulfillment of love and a relationship with someone else, another person. So it's about fulfillment. This is a really powerful, positive card. Let's look at the future. Okay, so we have the future card here. So this card here, this is a Six of Wands. Wands are about creative energy. This is about small victories. You know, you get to the Six of Wands in the tarot, it's about really triumphing, having some small victories. This is the person who's the victor. So it tells us that, you know, as far as the dream goes and as far as things to come, as far as the dream, you will be victorious. Yeah, I mean, most of the time when people get this card, it's usually because they've had some highs and lows kind of going on back and forth. And they finally just kind of come out of that. And it's like, okay. It's basically your victory. So you will be victorious. Let's look at the answer. Talked about the answer card a little bit ago. This answer card is usually like the key to the outcome, the key to getting the outcome or avoiding the outcome in some cases. So it just really depends on the nature of the question being asked. So we're talking about the dream here, and we have the Queen of Cups. Now, if you don't know, cups, just like we had before, we had the Ten of Cups. Here, you can see the Ten of Cups, and then you can also see the Queen of Cups. This is the present moment right here. This is the answer to the outcome card that will come here in a little bit later on. This is the Queen of Cups. Queens are about influence. Cups are about relationships. So this is a queen that's able to indirectly, very subtly influence relationships. And the reason she's able to do that is because she understands people's emotions. She understands how people feel. She's able to interact with them based on really their emotional makeup, that kind of thing. So this is really going to be the answer to the outcome that we'll talk about here in a moment. Now, as far as this Ten of Cups goes, because again, we're talking about relationships here, this is the last 10. This is the before we get to the court cards, this is number 10 is, of course, the last cup card that we have in the tarot. It represents, you know, almost like a transformation in many ways. It also represents sort of like getting to the end of things. And that seems to be kind of where you're at right now. Mindset-wise, is you're just wanting to kind of get some answers about this dream. Let's look at, you know, as far as this card goes, let's look at kind of the energy surrounding this situation. So this is the Three of Pentacles. Pentacles are an earthy sign related in the zodiac to Capricorn, Virgo, and also Taurus, the bull, but mostly Capricorn. And what you see in this is you have someone, they're standing on a stool here. These are two other people that are kind of watching this guy. And this guy's got a hammer in his hand. He's a tradesman. But he's symbolic in the sense that this could represent someone that is honing their skills, trying to perfect their craft, whatever it is that's about. It's about, in this particular instance, it's what this card is telling me to tell you is that with regards to this dream, you're trying to not only figure out the answers to the dream, you're really trying to be able to be more intuitive, and it's more about the structure of the dream itself. In other words, it's about really understanding your dreams better and trying to come to terms with the dreams and being able to make sense of them in terms of clarity and gain insight from them, as much as it is about really wanting to know what's going on with this female in the dream that you kiss. The next card is kind of this energy that's surrounding you in particular. And it's related to this Ten of Cups. This is this jubilation card. This is what's representing the dream. And what we have is the Five of Cups. This is where you're at. The Five of Cups is Five of Cups is a card about depression. The card is asking the querent, that's the person that's getting the tarot reading, to essentially, it's asking you to look in another direction. Another direction for happiness. It's like an appeal in a sense. It's like a plea, and what it's basically trying to say is to, almost like pick up the pieces and move on. In this card, it's a lot about emotional disappointment, and depression and other emotions like anger even. And this is often exaggerated. So it's again another five card. We had five to start with. That was in the past. That was the Five of Swords. That's winning at any cost. Now we have this Five of Cups, Five of Relationships. And it's just this feeling of change. Getting over hurt. Okay, let's look at the outcome. So the outcome card is, we just had the Five of Cups. Now we have the Four of Pentacles. We had the Three of Pentacles a moment ago, and that was about like honing our skills, getting to that level. This card here, this Four of Pentacles, is about, most often when this card comes up, it's about, a lot of it's about miserliness. It's about holding on to things, so tightly that we're not willing to share these things with other people. And this holding on to things, this attachment, it enslaves us, and it keeps us from being able to value the more important things in life. It keeps us from being able to move on oftentimes. It's a very interesting read, and all of this has to do with the stream question. And that's the central idea behind this entire spread. There's a lot of questions I would love to ask you, but I'm just picking up some really different things. So it's like, you have to understand, guys, gals watching this here, this is not directed toward Dylan per se as much as it is the dream itself. Dreams are very fluid, it can take on a lot of different meanings from a lot of different vantage points. So we have the strength card right here. This was the jump card earlier. It's asking us that, it's basically telling you that, you need to approach this dream situation with some good amount of strength. Sometimes things are not always as they seem, especially in a dream. And if you have strength, you'll be able to recognize things that you otherwise wouldn't be able to recognize. You'll get some answers. You'll be very victorious with it. I mean, it is in the cards. It's in the reading. As far as that victory goes and all, I'm seeing about 4 nights from now. I don't know where that come from. I'm just picking that up. About 4 nights from now. I'm picking up some Anne or something like this. This name Anne. I'm not really sure where that's coming from. I couldn't tell you if it's the person in the dream or not. There's some kind of something going on, though. Cards have a message for you. The dream has a message for you, and the message is it's one of getting over hurt, emotional disappointment, that kind of thing. Okay, there's something I'm picking up here, and it's really coming in strong right about now. Just give me 1 minute here. Oh man, I'm sensing this emotional energy here. The thing that's coming in is someone in your life maybe that you've overlooked, someone that you need to pay more attention to. And because your focus has been, on these other things, you haven't been able to free yourself to focus on this person at all. I can almost see this person in my mind too. I mean, a very sweet person, someone with a good heart. I can feel that energy. Very humble person almost. You're going to definitely get some answers, I can tell you that much. I mean, that much is coming, and I'm picking them about 4 nights from now. In the meantime, some jugglery or whatever you want to call it is going to happen. Some things are going to start to come into fruition for you. And the key is to have this strength. You need this strength some things will be revealed to you. It could be in your dream, or it could actually be from someone else, like in your life. Not everything is as it seems, and that's what this dream is really all about. That something going on, or the things that you think are fixed are really fluid. Man, I just wish I could make more sense of this. I see like a field or something like that in this dream. It's like I see colors of yellow and some green, a little bit of green, more like a lighter green. I see clouds. It's clouds that are almost like an umbrella, sort of. Well, when this information is revealed to you, just remember what I said about strength, Dylan. It's going to be very important that you have mental strength, not physical strength per se, but more of mental strength, like being able to handle news as it comes to you. The girl in your dream, she'll have a message for you. You'll probably get it in the next night or two. And it will happen. And then the 4th night, that's when some realizations will start to come into play. I'm getting the sense that this reading's about over. I see that the energy is kind of lightening up now. I mean, I'll tell you what, there was some heavy energy there. Most of the time when I do tarot readings, it's not as heavy or as intense as this one here has been. This is very, very interesting. I do hope that you will actually chime back in and maybe let us know, what happens as a result of all of this. And of course, if you have any questions or you need anything, please reach out to me. I'm always available to help you in any way I can. And there's anybody else, any other divination practitioners out there, and you'd like to help Dylan in the next day or two or beyond, please leave a comment in the message in the section below here, below the video. If you're picking up anything or any energy, or you have any ideas or anything that you'd like to share with him, anything about this reading or about just the question in general, maybe things that you're picking up, please leave those comments for him so that he can check those out. Now, Dylan, I only use first name on a first name basis, and I don't actually phrase things exactly 100% the way that they're presented to me for doing these readings. And the reason I do that is for privacy purposes. I respect other people's privacy, and I respect yours. And of course, this is a YouTube channel, and so other people can watch this. And that's, full disclosure there as far as that goes. I just wanted you to be aware. So if you do decide to chime in or anything, just bear that point in mind, that other people would probably recognize your name in the comment section. If you want to just reach out to me directly, of course, you're free to do that through email. My email is Chandra, Chandra 108 @gmail.com. I'll be happy to help you any way that I possibly can. Also, for yourself and everyone else watching for that matter, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. You can hit the bell icon. It'll give you notifications whenever we come live. We do these readings quite often for people. And you can learn more about tarot and get some insights about things. So of course, chime in, and we have the live chat feature and stuff, like when we do these live streams. So if you feel like chiming in, and sometimes, people ask me questions on the live chats, and I'll literally answer them online live, and I'll start to pick up things on the live chat for this other person or something. So sometimes it happens that way. I just sort of go with the flow when it comes to, doing these readings and everything. Yeah, I'm just really, things are kind of fading out of my periphery now. Oftentimes when this happens, it's sort of like your dream. Like when I get done doing a tarot reading, oftentimes I don't really have much of a recollection of the reading that I gave. It's sort of whatever comes to me is coming through that channel. And, when it's over, I'm sort of like disconnected from it. So what I would tell you as far as like kind of what works for me in terms of remembering things, like especially like when you're having a dream, it can be a very prophetic dream, a very psychic dream, in fact. And you might be getting this information all because this could be somebody that's in your future to come, or it's somebody that is a representative of something to come into your life. You probably get some answers in the next night or two as far as that part goes. And then by the fourth night, I would say that, a lot of this is going to come to an end for you as far as the answers that you're seeking as far as the stream and stuff goes. But in order to get there, you got to have strength. And then don't forget what the answer card was really is about, the Queen of Cups. It's about the subtle energy. Cups are about emotions. Remember that also. So emotions and relationships. So dreams are oftentimes a place where emotions and relationships tend to come about. So as you're watching your dream take place, like while you're sleeping, see if you can't maybe tune into making it more like a lucid dream. In other words, know that you're dreaming inside the dream. Tell yourself that. So before you go to bed at night, my recommendation would be to do a little bit of meditation before your head hits the pillow and you zonk out. What I would do is I would just give yourself a little message that says, okay, when I go to sleep, I will remember my dream, and I will remember any and all messages that I receive from my dreams. Had some of the page cards come up tonight, maybe we would have gotten more insight, as far as the messages that the dream was trying to give you. But those didn't come up. I didn't get a lot more than what I was able to give you. And in fact, I'm being 100% honest here. I don't really remember all of this reading that I've just done for you. I was sort of in a trance, for most of this. So that's one of the reasons why I like to do videos like this, is so that you can go back and watch them. And then maybe you can get some clues or some answers that will help you. So that's my hope for you anyway. Again, if you have any questions or anything, please reach out to me. As your tarot coach, I'm always, always, always here for you. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So I hope you have a wonderful night, sweet dreams, and yeah, I mean, I wish you the very, very best. Thank you so much.